friends. How you guys doing? It seems like hat day. So far, I see Noah and Chris and Kyle all with their hats on. That's great. I feel a little left out. I should have a hat. Yeah? That's awesome. Okay, so good morning. Thank you all so much for joining us. I feel like we've got a little bit of a lag here, so I'm going to do my best. Make sure I'm hearing everybody. If you have questions, make sure that you put them in the chat, and we'll have time throughout the presentation for you to ask questions also. I'm going to get started and introduce Dominic. He is the program coordinator for Workforce Solutions at Chicanas Por La Casa in Phoenix. So he has a presentation to share with you all. So please do your very best to keep your microphones muted, as Jeff told us, so that we can be paying attention very well. And please ask questions as we go, and give him your attention, because it's going to be great. All right, guys. Dominic, over to you.
All right. Hey, how everybody? How's it going? Welcome. My name is Dominic. You guys can see my presentation, correct? With the PowerPoint.
Yep,
Great.
you see it.
Awesome. So when I introduce yourself, thank you so much, Allison, for that introduction. My name is Dominic. I'm from Chicanas Por La Casa, and I'm here to talk to you guys a little bit today about trying to identify your career experience. You know, a lot of different times, we all have different types of, you know, interests and things like that, which I really want to talk about. And throughout my career history, it's always been about trying to help people and get to where they want to get to, you know, whether it's to a career or an educational training, a lot of different things like that. So today I want to talk to you about how to help you identify, you know, these type of, you know, career things and experience. But first and foremost, you know, I want to play a little game real quick, kind of get some group discussion going, because I think what's really important is for us to kind of understand ourselves and also understand others as well. So it'll be this will be a great discussion to kind of start with. So I like to do this, which is called Would You Rather? And so the question I want to ask is, would you rather be invisible or able to read minds? And, you know, so I want to kind of get this going to talk about who would, you know, what would you, and why would you rather be invisible, and why would you want to change minds? You know, and trust me, no answer is wrong. And I want to be able to share everybody's interest, and to be able to see what other people are interested in, and also help you discover what you're interested in. So first and foremost, who would like to be invisible? So Kyle says invisible. Chris, invisible. And if I may ask, why would you prefer to be invisible, Kendra? I think it was.
Because I can disappear at will. disappear from conversations.
That's good. That's a good question. Now, I know Michaela said she would rather, I think both of them, because you guys are twins, correct? Michaela and Cholas, right? Yeah, okay. Why would you guys rather be invisible?
Because we like to be sneaky.
Sneaky?
Yeah, that's true.
Thank you. And that's a great answer. I teach when I do ask this question, a lot of times, a lot of people tell me I'd rather be invisible so I can rob a bank and things like that. Yeah. And I
don't want to be invisible, send me in quarantine anyway.
Yeah, that's true. That's definitely true. So I might pick on a couple people, but I know Chris Burns said that he would rather be able to read minds. And Chris, if so, why would you prefer to read minds?
So that way I can know what people are saying in their minds.
That's a good, yeah, so you can have an authentic opinion pretty much, huh? To know what people are saying, to know what they're doing. Christian also talked about he would rather read minds. And why is that? Why, Christian? Why would you rather read minds?
like for me to be able to read minds, because so I could start building up like my thinking, like what I'm gonna do, just in case if something happens, then I could use that ability to fix the mistakes.
Oh, that's a good point. You know, and there's a lot of great different angles that we have while we make these choices. Um, does that let's see here. Does anybody else want to share if they would rather be invisible or be able to read minds and why they chose it?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
I would rather be able to read minds because you can tell what someone's thinking, how they're feeling, so you can actually be able to understand how they're feeling. So if they got upset at you, you would understand them, or if they're happy, you would know stuff like that.
No, thank you. And that's a great perspective. And that's the one thing I want you guys to be able to acknowledge and recognize is the different perspectives that we all have. We all have different reasonings why we would want to be able to read minds or be invisible. Some people can think, well, maybe I don't want to read minds because I want to kind of respect somebody's personal space, but I still want to know what people are saying when I'm not around. So maybe I could be invisible. Some people feel if I could read minds, I can have an authentic opinion. And just like a lot of you have said, you know, so I can know how somebody's feeling. So if somebody's feeling, you know, down and out, I can know how to make them feel better. You know, I can know how to help them with their situations and help out, you know, and of course, sometimes, you know, of course, sometimes some people are like, you know what, I just don't want to read minds. Forget that. You know, I had one option that I'd rather just do this than that because I'd rather read minds because I do not want to be invisible or vice versa. So people have a lot of different preferences and we have to be mindful and try to understand these preferences. Thing is about preferences is they come from a whole wide variety of different stages. Somebody could have experienced something to where it's like, you know what, if I had this ability, it would have worked out great for me. Other people are like, you know what, I don't want to read minds or anything. So sometimes we become influenced by things that we see. That's why I kind of put these pictures up, because if you see the picture of the Invisible Man, that's actually from, I think it's a newer movie that came out. And then of course you see Professor X-Man, who is able to read minds, you know, through his superhero ability. Now, sometimes people could be influenced by this, you know, oh, I saw this movie and I would like to have that superpower. Or I saw this movie and I saw all the problems they had with their superpower that I didn't want to work with like, I don't want to go through what they went through, you know. So it's a great way to kind of help you understand people's preferences and be in touch with, you know, yourself and others. So after we, you know, like I said, we kind of get to know different things. And like the twins said, you know, would rather, you know, movie because it's awesome and kind of scary. That's cool. And then Noah, he was like, you know, a little bit of both in my opinion, which, you know, I like that because sometimes, you know, hey, how do we find some type of common ground? How do we compromise? And I like that, Noah, and I praise you because you point out a great way to try to meet middle ground. Sometimes us just as humans, we don't understand how to compromise, you know, and taking that step to compromise is the real maturity of being able to not just do it for your career, but for yourself. So let's look at how to identify. Okay. Yes.
Say something?
Yeah.
To be honest, I have a real superpower,
Okay.
and it's actually that I can heal really quick.
Mm.
A couple weeks ago, I got bit by my dog by accident, and my muscles got torn from the
Oh,
bite, and I healed in 1 week.
oh, that's really good. That's really good. And thank you for sharing that because, you know, I wanted to, because here's the other thing too that's great, you know, when we talk about superpowers is that everybody can create their own superpower. You know, everybody has a great skill set. Everybody has a certain style of superpower that, you know, some people, everybody's different. Some people might be better and more charismatic, and their superpower might be able to work and engage with others. Some people might, have a great superpower, being able to see things and observing, seeing things that might jeopardize safety so that you could save others. There's a lot of different varieties, that we can have these strengths and skills that we can definitely strengthen. So what we want to do, as much as we kind of get a good kind of preference and understand, like I said, it's identifying career experience. So we want to go ahead and identify. And when we identify, it's kind of sometimes difficult, because, looking at career experience, it's, what do I want to do? Sometimes we know what we want to do, and sometimes we don't know what we want to do. And that's perfectly fine. And I'll talk a little bit about that. And also, we want to identify, once we kind of know or maybe have an idea, how do we do it? Or how do I do it? And here's the thing, let's first talk about, what do I want to do? So what I want you
Dominic?
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt, but Noah has his hand raised, and I just want to make sure that we address his question. Go ahead,
Sorry,
Noah.
Go ahead, Noah. Thank you.
I kind of have my own superpower too. I can run really fast
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
because I have muscles that runs fast.
That's good.
Calves.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though I'm bulky, I can still run fast.
Oh, that's awesome. That's good. Cause I remember trying to run fast, because I was always a big guy when I was young as well. Still am a little bit. I can't put the frosted
I
flakes
can
on.
still run fast in like a track.
Oh, that's good. Good. Keep it up, because here's the thing, any skill that you have, keep practicing at it, because the more you practice, the better you get, any skill. Give you an example, like let's look at maybe LeBron James and how his superpower is, being a basketball player. Even though he has that superpower, he still has to, practice his basketball skills, practice. So, I encourage you guys to keep practicing your skills, So, but let's kind of get back a little bit. And does anybody have any other questions, or just in case I want to make sure I answer?
I just wanted to say that all my skills that I have, I always practice them. I want to
Awesome.
be able to develop them more and more, so I can get it right every time.
Yeah. No, good job.
And I also
What are the
practice knowledge as well too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the
Okay.
questions was, what do I want to do and how to get there? I've already thought about that for quite a while now. What I want to do is become an astronaut to go on a Mars mission.
Okay.
And what I need to do is, they're hiring people that have an electrical engineering job or a career, and then a botany degree for both of them. And so I'm going to be going to college to get those. And then once I'm done getting my degrees on them, I'm going to apply for SpaceX to go on to the Mars mission.
Oh, okay.
If I can't do the Mars mission, I had a backup plan, which is going to live in Montana and start like a little farming area where I take care of wildlife and plant some seeds and stuff like that. So
Okay, cool. So what I want to do, you guys, is kind of touch. Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
I also have the same thing that Dylan has. I don't want to be an astronaut, but this is what I want to do. I have my hobbies, my tasks, my chores, my talents. I want to be a real cowboy. And what makes me happy doing it? I have my support from my family and friends. I know that I have my independence to do it, to become a real cowboy.
Awesome. And you know what? And then thank you, Chris, for sharing that, because I'm going to cover some of the stuff that you talked about support and stuff like that. I'm going to cover a lot of that and discuss it to where it might be relatable. It might help make you kind of understand, and you could probably share some further info about your experiences as well. But what I want to do is kind of move. Okay. Yes, Michaela?
And it does help you. And what would you rather is like it's a choice for you and what your talent is about too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely a choice. You know, you make these choices on your experiences, on your preferences, all these little things definitely, you know, help you make these decisions, and it helps you, you know, gear you into the right direction to where you can be successful. You know, and as well as we can, you know, try to help other people be successful and understand ourselves, we still want to be mindful of other people, because once we're aware of other people's feelings, we kind of understand how to navigate through other feelings and other people and try to have the best outcome for everybody. Yeah, Noah?
And I also have an ability to free draw too.
Oh, okay. Cool.
But right now I'm still practicing on 3D animation. That's
Okay.
what I want to be mostly.
Cool. That's
Yeah.
great. That's good. So
Yeah.
Dominique,
yeah, Becky.
is it Dom? I'm so sorry. My name is Becky Eaton, and we're from the Camelback Upward and Onward program. And there's actually 3 adults and 9 students on, but we were a little late because we had a problem with the link. So, I mean, are you? Do you work somewhere so that we could get an introduction? I'm so sorry.
Oh, no problem. I mean, afterwards, like I work for Chicanos por la Causa.
Okay, great.
I'm a program coordinator for our workforce program.
Oh.
I work both in our substance abuse and behavioral health, and I also work with our WIOA youth program as well.
Oh, great. I love Chicanos por la Causa.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
That must be an interesting job.
Yeah, it's great. It gives me a chance. It really humbles me, because when I see really helping other people and being able to empower them really is motivating, you know.
Yeah,
and it's kind of really what helped me understand, you know, what I wanted to do, you know, because I had a lot of different, I wanted to be a lawyer, you know, I wanted to go and be an electrical engineer, all these different things that I wanted to do. But with, you know, continuing in my education and kind of understanding, you know, my talents, you know, different tasks, things that I do, chores that I, you know, it's funny, but like even chores that you like to do, you know, you think about all these different things, and, you know, you find out what you enjoy and see where those skills that you have, plus your things, how do they contribute to helping you figure out what you want to do, you know? And then, like you guys said too, one of the biggest things is you got to be happy with what you do. You know? Be happy doing what you want to do. You know? And people can get happiness in a lot of different ways. You know, some people may like the recognition that they receive in the job for doing something, for completing something, and, you know, everybody loving what they do. Some people, you know, love the support. You know, like Chris, how you were talking about having that support system to, you know, really help you, you know, complete the next goal, use as motivation. Sometimes people love relationships, you know, where, you know, hey, you know, I met this friend, or this is an old work friend from another job, to where we have these great relationships that continue on even through work. But I do want you guys to know that you have to kind of sometimes understand that, you know, your coworkers that you work with sometimes could be partially family as well, because they, you know, you interact with them. Trust me, I know sometimes we got some cousins we may not be too fond of, but we still have to, you know, get along with them and things like that. So sometimes we have to, you know, just be mindful of that when you're working in a job. Also,
Yeah,
some-
you have to get along with them, even though you don't like them.
yeah,
But it'll help you if you get along with people that you don't like in your job. It'll help you be able to keep your job a lot longer. So
yeah, no,
so your
definitely.
boss won't actually get a little annoyed with you and try to fire you or whatever.
Yeah.
And speaking of Noah, he is very athletic and he is a really good drawer. Like
Oh, that's
he can draw characters really well, and I can't even do that at all. And it's very impressive for him to do that. Michaela
awesome.
and Mackenzie actually do the same thing as well. They also
Oh.
do like really good drawings as well.
That's good. That's good. And that's awesome.
I'm impressed with them
So-
because I can't do it.
Yeah.
And
Thank
so,
you, Zaylin.
Yeah.
and
that's
and
good.
speaking of mindfulness, I want to be mindful of Dominic's time because I know he's got a whole presentation to get through. So if we could all just hold our questions until a little bit further into the session, that would be so great. Thank you all for the engagement. It's been fantastic in the dialogue, but we also want to be sure that Dominic can get through his PowerPoint, okay?
Yeah, thank you. But you know what? Thank you guys though, because honestly, a lot of your feedback has really helped me, you know, help me get into this discussion, into this presentation. Because as much as we've been talking about all the different skills and abilities and things like that, you know, think of those skills and abilities. You know, don't forget about them. Keep thinking about them, because what you want to do is you want to find the connection. You know, what do you like to do? What are your interests? And what career could you be a part of that may be about this? You know, give you an example. You know, I went to try to go for law school, but come to find out, you know, after kind of working with it a little bit, I really didn't like the fact that, you know, you have to represent somebody who you may not feel did something right, you know, and that's what kind of turned me away. But at the same time, I was able to see other things, and I was able to get into those different industries or those different careers to, you know, figure out what I really wanted to do. And then once I figured that out, I was like, how do I want to do it? So what I did was I did a little digging, you know. I looked at this occupation, you know, social work, and I was like, what are the responsibilities and expectations? So I looked at those and I said, well, I can do that. That seems good, you know. And so I kept doing some digging, and then I had to recognize myself to think, what skills would make me good at this? What skills can I do? Well, I'm a real personable person. I get along with a lot of people. So yeah, this would probably be a pretty good career to kind of look at, you know. And then, you know, kind of got myself into it a little bit with, you know, getting a job or creating some experience, you know, because I wanted to make sure it was going to keep me happy. It was going to make me happy doing it. You know, it helped me find my passion. And then once I found that passion, it motivated me to go back to school and complete my, you know, go back to school, finish school so that I can, you know, get back into the career. So that was a great journey. But here's the other part. Let's say you don't know what you want to do. Let's say, I don't know if I want to go to be an astronaut, or if I want to be a social worker, if I want to be a nurse, or if I want to do construction, a lot of different things. If you don't know, that's great as well, because that means you just have more opportunity to find out. You know, so many times people think that, you know, you think that, you know, life's a pyramid where you have to kind of climb to the top. When really, think of it the other way. Think of it as like an upside down V, where you're at the top and you can start anywhere. And the more and more you get into your career, the more you get dialed into where you're going to want to be. So think of those things. But let's take a next look at your career. And I want you to understand this. It's your career. It's not a career in, you know, the medical field. It's not a career in, you know, the automotive field, things like that. It's your career, because then if you put it into a certain industry, you're limiting it, when you guys can go well beyond that. You know, next thing you know, let's say that you're a doctor, you know, let's say you're a doctor and then you become a business owner. Or let's say you have an artistic side and you create these cool drawings and things like that. And then, you know, you get your word out, you know, and then you start selling your drawings. or you're selling your art. Well, technically you're a business owner as well, you know, so you're an artist and a business owner. So there's a lot of different hats you can have in your career. Now, let's first look at the first part, which is when can I do it? So when can you do it? What you want to do is you want to develop a career plan, you know, create a career pathway with realistic goals and have a lot of mini goals, you know. Maybe it could be to, you know, get into an art school, but then you need to develop a portfolio. Well, each little drawing that you input could be that mini goal, you know. And, you know, because like they say, you don't want to put the carriage before the horse. But when you develop this career plan, make sure that you have room to understand and be flexible that sometimes things can change. But here's the other part about when can I do it? Does it make sense? You know, what are you going to need and what are the time frames? You know, are you going to need to have course prerequisite, which is you have to complete a certain set of classes before you can get into that class? What are the time frames? Do they give you, do you learn everything within 4 or 5 months, or does it take the course over 2 years? And then also what you want to do to find out when is ask questions and get tips, you know, get answers from people who are experienced in this field or have knowledge or can give you direction. And there's a lot of different people, which I'll talk about, that you can get questions from, like your case managers, you know, people in the industry, your guardian figures, a lot of different people that want to help you succeed, because remember, you have that support, and don't forget that you have that support to help you. Now we looked at the when. How about the where? So we look at where can I do it? So, you know, like I said, you think about that career part, and we know education and employment help our career, but sometimes we never bring them together. We never bring education and employment. So you want to get the most out of your career experience, you know, and the reason why I say that is you want to get jobs that are going to definitely help you get to that next part. You also want to look for a lot of options and opportunities. You know, don't just stick to one school. See where there's other options and what's best for you, because there might be a school that may be closer in distance, or a school that gives you better education material to help you learn more of what they're teaching. You know, so what you want to really do is find those resources and options to help promote your success. Here's the most important part though, okay? The most important, make sure it's manageable, okay? Do not overload yourself, okay? We all do that, everybody. Sometimes we put a lot on our, and sometimes we don't finish it, or it's more than we can chew. So make sure that it's manageable. Sometimes I know that I've seen people where they take 21 college credits. It's a double a regular load, and they don't complete any of their classes because they put too much on their plate. Where someone who did a manageable load, what was manageable for them at maybe it was 8, 7 or 12 credit hours, and they were able to complete all their classes because they didn't overload themselves. So make sure that you don't overwhelm yourself. Also, when it comes to education and employment, be up for the challenge. Anything you do and everything which leads to our experiences is going to be a learning lesson. It's going to help you learn. So be up for the challenge. Make sure that you're going to grow and learn from this. And it's going to develop a lot of experience. And with this experience, you want to think of these things. How do I grow my career? Where are these areas of opportunity that I can find? How do I navigate my journey? And how do I be flexible? How do I become flexible? Well, I'm going to talk about these, but first I want us to talk about how do you grow your career? First of all, you got to have that career mindset. Remember, bringing education and experience together and letting it know that it's your career and taking that charge. Also, having that, and when you have that mindset, you're going to be able to understand that every situation is an experience. Everything good that happens to you, and unfortunately, everything bad that happens to you is an experience. You know, maybe something didn't go as planned. How can we look to improve it? Oh, this event went perfect. It went great. Well, how do we make it better? It was great. Yeah. But maybe there could be something where we can even take it to the next level. And here's the other part. Be a leader. Okay. So be up for the challenge. When it's time, take leadership, lead by example. Being a leader doesn't mean you have to be in front, telling people what to do or anything like that. A leader can act in silence just by being an example, by taking on things, by showing that, I can do it attitude. And that's a great way to help start your career. And then we want to look at, well, actually, let me go back. I'm sorry. I want to explain this because I did put this here. If you look at the bottom where it says the half full, half empty. Now, we always get this saying when we look at the cup as half empty, we see a lot of obstacles. We kind of almost talk ourselves out of things because we see all these obstacles that we can't do. We see all these things that are in the way. But when we visualize a cup as half full, we see opportunity. We see how we can grow from these things. It's the same amount of water in that cup, but it's how you look at it and it's how you visualize it. And here's the other part. As much as you see it as half full, you still have to be able to understand and acknowledge that how people may see it half empty, but how do you get them and how do you collaborate to have that mindset to help them think positive? Because you have to be positive, and attitude is so important. It's what really helps you, especially in areas of opportunity. When you approach it with a positive attitude, you're able to see things more clearly. You're able to identify experience. And like I said, experience is all around us in anything and everything we do. And when we're able to identify it, then we're able to recognize it and network with things. We're able to develop rapport and peer. We get to know who to talk to and identify who we need to talk to and engage with them. And then another area where you can have opportunity is taking initiative and responsibility. And this accounts for being accountable for mistakes and accomplishments. Okay. Except, we always, and a lot of us sometimes are humble to, accept responsibility for mistakes. But the harder part is accepting responsibility for accomplishments. Sometimes we're like, oh, it was nothing, or, oh, it was somebody else who did more of the work. Accept the praise. It's a big deal. You did something great. Be happy, and think about this experience and learn from it. Here's another part, where a little bit south, if you give somebody else the credit. Let's say you give somebody else the credit, and then that person, instead of going to you, goes to that next person. And then they're like, well, you told me this person did great work, but he didn't do great work on what I needed him to do. Then it kind of ruins your credibility because you sent them the wrong way when they probably should have been working with you from the get-go. So accept responsibility and, accept your accomplishments and celebrate them. See, everybody's different. And I want you to understand that, but the thing is, though, is we need to respect our differences, but we need to celebrate what we have in common. And like I said, going back to attitude, it's so important. I'll tell you this, my wife gave me a valuable lesson. Okay. My wife, yes. She gave me a valuable lesson. She told me that it's how your attitude is in a conversation that's going to dictate how you feel. So when you think about this, when you're talking and maybe you're saying negative things about somebody and you leave that conversation with somebody else when you're talking negative. After you're done with that conversation, you're probably really exhausted or tired. I could take a nap afterwards because of that negativity weighs you down. But now let's look at the other angle. Let's say you're talking to somebody, just like we're having these conversations here, like I'm having with Chris and Dylan and, everybody and Noah. We have these great conversations about positivity and the great positive things that are coming out, you're going to probably leave feeling motivated, feeling like you could even go to the gym and go do a bench press or something, because this gives you this great amount of energy when you talk positive. And when you're able to have those positive things and those positive conversations, even with two people, you're still a team. So you think about being a part of a team, and you want to be a part of a team, because remember, you want to have the support, of a team, and you also want to be a part of the support, being able to have that rapport with your teammates. And if you see somebody down and out, how do you make them feel better? How do you help them, change their day? And sometimes it could just be, hey, how you going? How you doing? Sometimes just acknowledging people can help, change their attitude and help get them out of funk sometimes that they may have. Then we want to really be mindful of look at is how to navigate our journey. We got to think about the past, present, and future. Think of it all and learn where your career and you met. Where did it meet and how do you guys continue to grow? Then also, when you're going through your journey, make sure that you're nice and steady, okay? Because pace is important. If you're going too fast on anything, if you're running, sometimes you can have the ability to run into things or crash. But if you take things too slow, then it might be too long and you might be losing the company money because it's taking too long to do a certain task. So you want to have a nice and steady pace, but you also want to make sure that if you need to take it slow to learn, that you do so as well, so that you can learn and educate yourself in your journey. Then also stay on course, recognize and watch out for distractions, because, we always get them, distractions are all around us. And trust me, it's very hard sometimes to multitask, but you just got to kind of have the mindset. Nothing's ever going to be perfect, but if having that mindset will definitely help you stay on course. Because remember, nothing ever happens as planned. So you have to be flexible. You have to be ready for last second changes and be prepared for them, because things happen. Things sometimes don't go always according to plan. So we have to be prepared in case something does. Also, keep an open mind. What this really does is enables emotional intelligence and reduces your stress level. Now, let me talk about emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is being able to understand your own and other people's feelings and how to navigate through those feelings for the best outcome. Now, to kind of help you understand, because there's always sometimes negatives to everything. Sometimes too much can be a bad thing. So when you put too much emotional intelligence and you try to make it play in your favor in a malicious way, in a bad way, it's actually looked at as manipulation. The opposite of emotional intelligence is manipulation. So, like I said, keep an open mind and learn to understand each other so that it could be for the greater good of everyone. Also, be flexible with different backgrounds. Just understand that everybody sees things a different way. You can have two brothers that see the same thing, but may take things differently from what they saw. Some people may like, we both saw the same movie. Some people may like the movie. Some people may not. And their reasons could be because of certain things that they've gone through or they've experienced to where they might not enjoy it, to where you've experienced other parts where you have enjoyed it. So, understand some of those, you want to be flexible. Now, also, we want to, how do we start these things? Well, first, you want to seek help and guidance. So, like I said, utilize your counselors, case managers, your family, peers, and also talk to professionals to seek all these guidances of the best way to start. Because sometimes, we can do your own research as well, but ask for people's opinions to get a good sense and then come up with your own conclusion. Don't let people tell you, hey, do this, seek opinions, but at the same time, draw your own conclusion. And as well, look for options and opportunities. Find the most beneficial resources and options for your success. What resources are available to help you succeed. at this place compared to this and vice versa. Then, like I said, and I'm going to say it again, make sure it's manageable so you don't overload yourself. Okay. And like I said, at the end of the day, what you need to do is love what you do and think, because we all prefer jobs with like-minded coworkers. We all want to work with people that, have, like I said, celebrate what we have in common, but we still respect our differences. And then look for work environments that utilize your skills and abilities. Look for places that are going to challenge you and also help you excel and use the talents that you want to use and develop. And then also understand, that everybody's different. So some personalities may be a better fit for certain jobs and vice versa. So there's a lot of different ways that you can empower your career. So I want to ask, does anybody have any questions that they want to, or anything they would like to share? Yes, Michaela.
You can even do commission of the last couple of slide you were talking about, and what you love to do and create happiness.
Yeah, no, definitely. You want to create happiness. And here's the thing, to create happiness, you have to be happy first. You have to take care of yourself. Because think about this. We all want to help people. We all want to help hold people up, right? We want to hold them up. But it's very difficult to hold somebody up if you only have one leg to stand on. So you have to make sure that you develop and you develop your solid foundation so you can help others. Just like when you see sometimes, and I hate to bring up this example, but when the air things come down from the airplanes, they always say, put it on yourself first and then the child. Because if you're putting it on them and then you don't get a time to put it on you, or if you're finicking because you're trying to get it onto them because you're having trouble breathing, you want to put it on the right way. So that's why you have to take care of yourself first, just then take care of others. Thank you, Michaela. Thank you for that. Yes, Christian.
Oh, if we did become a leader, then we could help the other people to build their career, so we can help them be more happiness, and if we could all like build up our own careers.
No, I love the way you're going with that, Christian. You're exactly right. Being a leader is not just for you, it's for everybody. You help everybody get to their goal, and that's the great part about being a leader is you help not just yourself, but everybody. That's why I tell people when I work in, sometimes people who go back for their GED, when I tell some of the people who have difficulties and then they go back for their GED, they're not just getting a GED for themselves, but they're getting it for everybody around them, being able, because there's a lot of, life throws a lot of bricks at us sometimes. So how do we, get through those things, and how do we persevere? How do we get over the hump and complete it even with these things? And that's where leadership really comes into play. And, I challenge all of you to be leaders, especially, but be a leader with yourself first, Thank you. Thank you, Christian.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Anybody else?
No, I saw that you had your hand up earlier. Did you have a question?
Who, me? Oh, no, I didn't have any questions.
Oh, Noah, sorry.
Oh, no. Okay.
Kind of. It's more like a compliment.
Oh, thank you.
And you guys forgot about me.
Oh, I apologize. I'm sorry about that. But what did you want to say though? What did you want to add? Because you have a lot of you've been saying a lot of great things, Noah. I do want to thank you for that.
So I saw the movie, or the new movie Souls, and they talk about how your life goes. And since you mentioned the flexible part, there was a guy who was at a barber, and he wanted to do and he wanted to do something else in his life as a job, but he's happy of where he is right now.
Oh no, thank you. You don't know what,
Yeah.
and you brought up a great point, you know, and I want to thank you because this is great. Because one thing I didn't mention that I want to talk about before I leave is transferable skills. Being
Yeah.
able to identify your skills that you have, all those skills that you talked about today, Noah, too, and everybody, to where you have these you have this skill set, and you're able to understand where can I use it in other areas. Let's say you're working as a Starbucks barista, and just a easy work example, and you want to go to be a bank teller. You know, well, how do I go from this career to this career? Remember, it's your career. So once you're able to identify your skills, like, well, I'm good at cash, I'm good at cashiering, you know, that's what you needed as a bank teller. I'm great at product knowledge, helping people, you know, select product or understand what the product is. Same thing as the bank, where they have different types of I don't know what they have, but they have different types of loans. Or,
I'm the same. I'm the same way, but with like game products and
oh, that's
yeah,
awesome. Yeah, being universal, learning how to kind of adapt them.
or
Yeah.
computer products.
Oh, that's cool. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing that, Noah. Thank you for being here. Oh, let me see here. Okay, Luis. Sorry, I just saw it. So, everyone been through a bunch of things, and that can be normal. Yeah, not just yourself, but anybody. Yeah, that's a great way to put it. You know, a lot of us, you know, we experience things, and sometimes it's our experiences that help shape us, but sometimes, you know, being able to understand other people's experiences and sharing it, you know, nobody's the same. Everybody's different. And that's the best thing about being human, you know, is that we're all different. And another great part about being human is having the ability to change your mind, you know, being able to change your mind, and because you have a different perspective or insight. And don't let nobody ever take away that ability from you. And that's how, thank you guys so much. Does anybody else have any questions before I got to kind of jet? Yep, Michaela, you're right. Always be yourself. All right.
Okay.
Well, I'd like to thank all you guys. Thank you guys so much. It's been great. I wish you guys all the best and well, and hope to see you guys again in the future. Thank you. Bye-bye, you guys.